Hi guys, I'm Dimension Jump, but today I'll be reviewing Pokémon Black and White, which was released for the DS in 2010. Now, the main story of this game is basically, like all other games in the Pokémon series, you basically go around the game's region, collecting Pokémon, and basically going to all the gyms and basically becoming champion. And basically also fighting the evil team of the game and catching the game's legendary. Now, this game is kind of like regarded for being the Pokemon game which has like very little Pokemon designs, because you've got a Pokemon that's basically an ice cream, you've got one that's basically trash, like trash with a face, and you've basically got the starters, but they're monkeys. Like, if you look at like both the Pokemon starters of this game and the elemental monkeys, is kind of suspicious. And yeah, so apart from that, these are quite good games. If you ignore like all of those bad designs, they're kind of good. I do like the story. I think the story is like a kind of a good one, because apart from like, you know, fighting the gyms and becoming champion, the main story is basically the evil team of the Unova region, which is the region you go in this game, and the team in this game is called Team Plasma. Basically, want all trainers to release all of their Pokemon so they can be free and something like that. And they're kind of a good, like, well, they're not good, but like I think like Team Plasma is kind of like one of the better teams in the region, unlike, you know, Team Aqua and Team Other One in Generation 3, where they just want to raise and lower the landmass or something. I don't know, but yeah. And the main leader is Getsis, who's basically the main honcho of the team, and he basically wants N, who basically works for them, to become champion so he can have everyone release their Pokemon. And I think that's like a kind of a good sort of story to go along with, because you basically are trying to stop, as always, an evil team from doing like the wrong thing and other such stuff. But yeah, and and a lot of the Pokemon I quite like. For example, the Oshawott, who's the water starter. I think Oshawott is kind of like the best out of all three starters. And I do like using some of the Pokemon from the region, like Crocodile. I think that's basically one of my strongest Pokemon within the game, because of its moves and its ability. I think it's quite cool. And I do like some of the gyms. For example, the very first gym, because you're going against the gym leader you go against is one out of three brothers, and the gym leader that you go against depends on which starter you chose. So, for example, if you chose Oshawott, you're going against the grass type gym leader. If you choose Tepig, you'll be going against the water type, and if you choose Snivy, you'll be going against the fire type starter of the gym. And I think new or future Pokemon games should have that sort of element in it. So, like, the person, depending on you choose your starter, this should be the person you have to fight, and really should think that they could probably add it in more in future Pokemon games. But anyway, so the main box art legendaries of this game are Reshiram and Zekrom, and you don't really, I think you can only get like each Pokemon on the different versions. So basically for White, I think you can only get Zekrom, and in Black I think you can get Reshiram. I can't exactly remember, but I think the abilities suit them well, because apart from having the Dragon type ability, they also Zekrom has the electric type, and Reshiram has the fire type. I think that suits them quite well because of how their lore is like added in the game. So yeah, and now it's time for some gameplay. Now, one of the differences in the game is obviously the title screen, in which Black version has Reshiram in it, and the title screen, and a White version has Zekrom in it. Yeah, that's one of the differences in these games. Also, both like, you know, file save screens are both different colours as well. So white's got white, black's got black background. Yeah, even though they're the same thing. Also, the final gym leaders are different. So for black, it is actually forgot who the guy's name was, but yeah, but in this version, but in white, no, in black version, no, in white version, it's Iris, who's don't know if you can see that properly, but yeah. Also, there are two different locations that are, well, the same locations, but have different names. So in white version, if you go here, like here, that's called the White Forest, while in black, if you go to the same place, it's called, which is again here, I'm sorry about the quality, but yeah, it's called Black City. So yeah, same place, different names. Now I'm going to show you some battle gameplay. So the gameplay is quite interesting because the graphics for the gameplay is basically sort of like 3D-ish, because like the way of the Pokemon are moving and stuff, and also like in other previous games and future ones, you've got obviously 4 moves you can use. I'm going to use one of them, which is Flame Burst, which will be good against Deerling, and also the Pokemon you find can be random and it can vary depending on the numbers, like the levels they are. So I think that's a quite good gameplay. And also when you're fighting like trainers and stuff, they obviously have different amount of Pokemon. So one could have 3, one could have 2, one could have 1 Pokemon. It just depends on the amount of trainers you fight across the region. And yeah, so that's been it for the gameplay, and go back to the review. So my final verdict for these games is that they're both good, and there's some nice elements in there. So like for some of the gyms, some of the Pokemon designs I quite like. But one of the main problems I have with the game is that there's a section of the map that you can't go until the post game. I think that's like not really good, because I really want to like go to those places like and see what's up and see what's around, but it's like and doing the post game is not kind of the best, because I think Pokemon Black and White are the only versions where you don't get to see like half of the map, whereas other games show you like the entire map and only show you like 1 or 2 sections in the post game that you might have missed. But so yeah, I think these are quite good games, apart from like, you know, several other bits and pieces of the game that aren't as good. But I do like how these 2 games bring in new elements to the Pokemon series and bring in new kinds of lore and stuff to the whole series. So yeah, that's been my review of Pokemon Black and White. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.